Hi friends, welcome to CSCpedia. So today we're going to discuss about a topic called simplification of grammar. So which is a topic present in top-down parsing. So what is simplification of grammar? So first and foremost, what is grammar? So grammar is NTPS, or we can also call as VTPS. So here capital N is set of non-terminals. So what are these non-terminals? So non-terminals are nothing but capital A to capital Z. So what are terminals? T stands for set of terminals. Small a to small z and some symbols. So what is P here? So P is set of production rules. So what is capital S? So capital S stands for starting symbol. Okay, so your grammar is NTPS. So N stands for set of non-terminals, T stands for set of terminals, P is set of production rules, and capital S is nothing but your starting symbol. So how to write a production here? Okay. Capital A tends to capital B, capital C. So here non-terminal tends to non-terminal, non-terminal. Okay. So this is one sort of a production. Okay. B tends to C, small c, capital D. So in the first production, capital A, capital B, capital C, both are three are non-terminals. In the second production rule, capital B is non-terminal, capital D is non-terminal, and C is a terminal. So you can also give C tends to epsilon. Here capital C is a non-terminal, epsilon is a terminal. So out of these three, what is our starting symbol? We started with capital A. So capital A is your starting symbol. So in this way, we'll write productions. Okay. So here our topic is simplification of grammar, or we can also call this call it as reduced grammar. So, what are the three ways to reduce our grammar? So, there are three methods to be followed to reduce our grammar. The first one is removal of useless symbols. Second one is removal of epsilon productions. And the third one is removal of unit productions. Okay. So in this way, we can reduce our grammar. So let us explain each and every method with an example so that you guys will get a clear idea about it. How to reduce a grammar. The first one is removal of useless symbols. Second one is removal of epsilon productions, and third one is removal of unit production. So let's start with the first one, removal of useless symbols. Okay, so what is this removal of useless symbols? So when can be a symbol useful or useless? A symbol can be useful when on the right hand side of a production, if any non-terminal is there, we can able to replace that non-terminal with a terminal. Then we can say that that symbol is useful. That means, for example, if I have A tends to capital B, capital C. For example, if we have capital B tends to small a. So in the place of capital B, we can replace a terminal, that is small a. Then that is said to be a useful symbol. Okay. So if a non-terminal can't able to replace with any terminal, then that symbol is said to be useless symbol. So we should remove those useless symbols. So if we don't remove those useless symbols, then that production is that grammar is not context free grammar. Okay, so our main agenda is to remove those. First we need to find those useful and useless symbols. If there are any useless symbols, then we will remove those useless symbols. So in order to understand, we'll take an example so that you guys will get a clear idea about it. So let's take an example here. We have s tends to 0 capital T slash 1 capital T slash x slash 0 or 1. That is rule 1. And we have T tends to 0, 0. So what we said, what is a useful symbol and what is a useless symbol? That means, for example, if we substitute a value with a non-terminal, then we should get a production called as production with all terminals on the right hand side. Then that is said to be useful symbol. If we are unable to substitute, then that is said to be useless symbol. So let's take the first one. S tends to 0 capital T. So do we have a production of capital T? So we have capital T tends to 0, 0. So substitute in T. So what we get, S tends to 0, 0, 0. So all zeros are non-terminals. What I said, small a to small z, 0 numbers and your special characters or special symbols all are terminals. So S tends to 0, 0, 0 is a useful symbol. Why? Because we can able to substitute in the place of non-terminal T and take S tends to 1T. So in the place of T we can substitute 0, 0. So what we get? S tends to 1, 0, 0. Even 1T is a useful symbol. Now let's take S tends to capital X. So do we have a production of capital X in our two rules? So we don't have a production of capital X. So can we substitute anything? No, right? So then S tends to X, is it a useful symbol or useless symbol? Obviously it is an useless symbol. So useless symbol. So we'll not consider this. And next, S tends to 0. And we have non-terminal tends to terminal. That's not a problem. S tends to 1. Even this is not a problem. Why? Because we have a non-terminal tends to terminal. And coming to rule 2, we have T tends to 0, 0. So this is also not a problem. So what is our final outcome after removing useless symbol? I hope you understand. So useless symbol is something like something that we are unable to substitute any terminal into it. So then that is said to be useless symbol. So first and foremost thing is we should remove those useless symbols. So final production will be S tends to 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, T tends to 0, 0. And we have removed S tends to capital X. Okay. So this is a final production without, final grammar without any useless symbol. Okay. So this is the method of removal of useless symbols. And in the next method is removal of epsilon productions. So removal of epsilon productions. So what are epsilon productions here? So epsilon is nothing. So what if we have epsilon productions in our grammar? So removing that epsilon production in the grammar without changing the meaning of the grammar. So what does it mean? Removing the production which contains epsilon without changing the meaning of that grammar. So let's take an example here. So in the given grammar, we have S tends to 0 capital S, 1 capital S and epsilon. So do we have an epsilon production in epsilon production? S. So in our grammar, do we have any other production? No, we have only one single production. S tends to 0S, 1S, epsilon. Now how to eliminate this epsilon production? Okay, so we can eliminate the epsilon production without changing the meaning of the grammar. So that's very important here. So how to eliminate this epsilon production? So eliminate the epsilon production by substituting in the grammar itself. Okay, so take S tends to 0S. So in the place of S, can we substitute epsilon? S. So we have a production S tends to 0S, S tends to 1S, S tends to epsilon. So in the place of S, I can substitute epsilon. So what I get? S tends to 0, epsilon. So epsilon is nothing as we know. So what we get finally? S tends to 0. So keep it aside. Now take S tends to 1S. So do we have any production to substitute in the place of S? S. I can substitute epsilon. So 1 epsilon, I will get S tends to 1. Okay. So I removed epsilon. I eliminated epsilon by substituting that epsilon in the grammar itself. So what is the final grammar which I got? S tends to 0S, 1S. After eliminating epsilon, what I got? 0 and 1. So this is my final grammar. So in this way, we eliminate epsilon productions. Okay. So and the last one is removal of or elimination of unit productions. So we'll see what is elimination of unit productions or removal of unit productions. And the last one is removing of unit productions. So what is this removing of unit productions? So what is unit? Unit means single. Okay. So what is the rule of the one non-terminal contains another non-terminal? Okay. For example, if I have capital A tends to 1. So that's not non-terminal tends to non-terminal. That's non-terminal tends to terminal. Okay. That means, for example, if I have capital A tends to capital B, so we should not have that unit production here. So capital A tends to capital B. So this is a non-terminal, this is a non-terminal. Okay. So we should not have this unit production. Okay. For example, if I have like this, A tends to 1B. That's okay. It's not a unit production. So if I want to remove this unit production, I need to substitute that with some other production so that I can remove my unit production. So let's see an example by writing some grammar.